Glamour Fearless. This is Mr. Divabetic on my quest to glamorize good health. Today I'm at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia with one of my favorite diabetes educators, nurse practitioners, Neva White.
Hey, Max.
And you know, Neva, one of the great things about today is that we're kicking off Divabetic Club Philadelphia. So tell everyone about this incredible event and how they can get involved.
Okay, well, Divabetic Philadelphia is an opportunity where it's a support group. It's an opportunity for people to have resources, information, and fun. It's the third Thursday of every month at noon right here at Thomas Jefferson.
And it's free. So to register, you just have to call 1-800-JEFF-NOW, and you can be part of this exciting free event. And I'm listing all the dates on our calendar at divabetic.org. Now, we've heard from you on our Diva Wire that you wanted more information about blood glucose monitoring. So, Neva, you're going to help me out today and explain to people how they should use their monitor, as well as answer some of their most frequent asked questions. One of which is, it's too painful to monitor my blood sugar. What do you say?
Well, one of the things I recommend is that you really get to know the device that you're using to stick your finger in. And lots of times people are sticking their finger much more deeper than they need to. You only need a small amount of blood. So there's no need to puncture your finger so deeply. And with many Lancet devices, you're actually able to indicate how much blood you want to get from your finger or how deep you want the needle to actually pierce your finger. So become familiar with the particular lancing device that you're using. Some of them have a number where you can dial from 1 to 5. Some may have a picture of a drop of blood. So you want to go down to the lowest setting possible to see if that will work for you. If the lowest setting doesn't work, then dial it up to the next one. But don't start at the highest setting first. That's what many people do, and that's why it's so uncomfortable.
And a lot of people think they should be taking more blood than they actually need to, correct?
Exactly. You only need a very small, tiny drop of blood.
Now, what about the people who always say my index finger is so calloused from taking my blood sugars? What do you recommend? Do they keep pricking the same finger over and over again?
You can use all of your fingers. You don't just have to use one finger. Rotate, use as many fingers as possible. For some people, of course, you know, you're going to use your dominant hand. So your non-dominant hand is where you're going to probably stick your fingers. But rotate your fingers. Don't just use one finger all the time. And I suggest that you use the sides of your finger and not immediately in the middle of your finger. So go around to the pads of the finger. It's less sensitive.
All right. And if they don't want to use their fingers at all, can they use another part of their body?
Certainly. Practically every glucometer available on the market does have opportunities for you to do alternative testing sites. So you can use your arm, you can use other parts of your body if that's what you so choose. I say just use an area that you can actually reach.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now walk us through how you use your blood glucose monitor properly.
Okay, well, the first thing you have to do is become familiar with your meter. Know how it works, understand whether it needs to be coded, whether or not it needs to be coded. For this particular meter, there's no need for coding. And if I can get this straight. To turn this meter on, you just insert the strip, and the meter will turn on. The next thing that you want to do, you want to make sure that you wash your hands, make sure that your hands are clean. And then
why? Because like lotions, foods will all help. Will all read on the meter, correct?
It's a possibility that whatever you have in your hand could affect the reading. So just to be on the safe side, we want to make sure that you don't have anything that could interfere with what the level is.
Can the antibacterial lotions affect the reading too?
Well, the only thing about using the antibacterial, a lot of them have alcohol in them, and that could be a little painful in the hand when you're sticking the finger.
Because it's drying?
Yes. And it can also leave the skin extra dry, too.
Okay.
Although, if that's all you have available to you, you can use that.
All right.
But we suggest just washing your hands with plain old soap and water. And again, just become familiar with your lancing device. In this particular lancing device, we're going to use, and again, I'm going to dial it down to the lowest setting. Okay, and I'm going to just prime it, get it ready, select my finger. This looks like a good finger. And the other thing that I suggest is that when you have your lancing device, make sure it's firmly against your hand.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when you snap, we tend to move our finger. And sometimes we miss, or sometimes we'll scrape our finger.
So then we have to do it again and again.
Right. Or you may have more of a cut. than just a prick. So we
Okay.
want a prick and not a cut. So then you just put it firmly against your hand. And then, oops. Oh, there we are.
There
A
you
little
go.
tiny
Yeah.
drop of blood. And that's all you need is a little tiny drop of blood.
All right.
And then we're going to. Might be enough. Might have to do it again. I think we have to do that again.
Well, that's all right.
Okay.
We'll keep doing it because this is what we're showing people, the reality.
Okay.
Some people
A little bit
checking
higher.
again and
Yeah.
again.
Okay, so I just have to stick that. I have to go up just a little bit higher on my finger.
While you're doing that, Neva, you know, there's so many meters out there today. There's smaller meters than this. There's also meters with bigger numbers. And for people who are visually impaired, I've heard about talking meters. Is that true?
Yes, there are talking meters. The Prodigy is one. So he just checked my blood sugar. And it's 86.
86.
I need to eat.
You need to have it eaten all day.
I need to eat.
Now, how many times would you recommend someone checking? Because a lot of people are on a budget today. Testing and monitoring your blood sugars can be expensive because of the cost of the strip. What do you recommend?
Well, first of all, I always like to say start with what your A1C is.
Mhm.
It depends on whether or not you're taking insulin or not. So this is really something that you can help to set up with your provider, with your healthcare provider. Because depending upon where you are in terms of your A1C, where it is in terms of managing your diabetes and your medication, that whole picture sort of determines how often you should be checking your blood sugar. For many people, they may be checking it once a day. And if you are checking it once a day, we usually say when you first get up in the morning.
Mhm.
That's called your fasting. Some people may want to do it around their meal time. And I always like to say, I like to do before meal and after meal so that I can have a comparison. Okay,
Mhm.
to see how my meal did.
2 hours after the meal, correct?
2 hours from the start of the meal.
Okay.
Okay, and you may want to do it before you go to bed at night. So it all depends on the person. But I always tell people, remember, when you check your blood sugar, that's telling you what your blood sugar is that right then and there at that moment in time. It could be going up, it could be going down, but it only gives you the reading for that moment in time.
So therefore, you need to check several more times?
Right, because sometimes, we'll get up in the morning, we'll check our blood sugar, it'll be within a good range, and then we kind of say, oh, I'm fine for the rest of the day, and I
Got
don't
it.
really need to check. But that's just telling you that one reading for that moment in time in that set of circumstances. And also, when you check your blood sugar, it's telling you what happened before. It's telling you what happened in the past,
Mhm.
not the future. So a lot of people tend to base the future on what happened in the past.
All right, so now that we got back to this, now that we got your number, we would enter it in our logbook.
Or with this particular meter, it has a memory. So actually, this meter can hold my reading. So I can either use the meter itself as a logbook, and in that case, I have to make sure the date and time were correctly logged,
Mhm.
or I can actually just write it in a book.
And
Write
then
it
what
in
would
my-
someone do? They would bring it to you. They would bring their meter with them to their next appointment with
Yes.
you. You're a certified diabetes educator
Yes,
and a
they
nurse
would-
practitioner.
Yes, they would bring their logbook or bring their meter. I like people to bring your meter
Mhm.
because you may forget to write something down, and we'll check it.
And what are you looking for on someone's meter as a healthcare provider?
Primarily, we're looking for patterns. We're looking at where your highs are, where your lows are. Are there certain times of the day that you're experiencing low blood sugars, certain times of the day you're experiencing high blood sugars? How many times a week are you experiencing this? So basically, we're looking for patterns.
So this device is really your key to making sure you stay healthy and upbeat about your care, because this is a blueprint not only for you but also for the patient to make sure the whole team, their entourage, is working together to keep them healthy and to live life like a diva. Thank you joining us today, Neva White from Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Remember to register for Divabetic Club Philadelphia. It's free and it's fabulous. They could do that by calling
1-800-JEFF-NOW.
All right. Thank you, everybody.